Hello Aries, I'm Claire Louise Hay from BeHealing.com and this is your April 2020 reading. Aries, every weekend I have a half price sale now and throughout April. And so if you're watching this when I first released this video, which is still the weekend, then the half price reading is an abundance and money reading. So if you really want one of those, you can get it half price right now. I'll put a link up there for that. 60 Australian dollars instead of 120 Australian dollars, and that's about 40 American dollars. So great bargain at the moment. Now, Aries, if there's something in particular you want to know from your higher self, if you've got an idea of what you'd like in future half price reading sales, then you just let me know in the comments. So it doesn't have to be an existing reading that I'm already offering. It could be something new. So if there's something you want to know from your higher self, please let me know. Give me some ideas for the readings that you want, because this is about you and me helping you with my gift. And so if there's something that you want from me, you just let me know. Right, Aries, what's the story this month in April? It's a huge month for everybody. Huge month. Of course, we can see that in the world. Things are changing and they're changing for the better. So let's see what it is for Aries. Your love, gentle, quieted heart. So many signs have been getting really similar messages to this, right? April for you, Aries, is about you coming to terms with who you are and you being loved and appreciated for who you are. Now, you can see with what's going on in the world right now, everyone's in lockdown, this virus is around, things have shut down, and you can see you are, and everybody else is, learning what is really important to them and what's not, what's really valuable and what's not at all in the slightest. And you might have noticed, Aries, that those people that were receiving a lot of money and being valued before, even though it's completely superficial shit and it wasn't important after all, the businesses have stopped. They're not receiving that money anymore. And then suddenly everyone is valuing what's really important, you know, healthcare workers, grocery workers, supportive people, carers, teachers, that kind of thing. The people that have been left out before, the people that haven't been valued, the people that have hardly been receiving any money at all, the people that have been really struggling. So there's a shift going on to what's really important, what people are valuing, right? And there's you, Aries, going through all of this too, like the collective is, but there's you. You are love. You are love. You're a very giving person, Aries. And your life has been hard until now because of this, because of the person that you are, because you're a giving person. You're one of these people that hasn't been valued. And sure, you've had to conform with society. You've had to place yourself sometimes uncomfortably in that group just to get enough value to even live. To even get the money to have a house and food and everything, you've had to comply. You've had to comply with what society said was valuable just to get by. But it's not being who you are. Like, you've had to sacrifice and compromise some of yourself to be able to do that, because who you are is love. You're a very giving person, Aries. And sure, there might have been some parts of that have been dysfunctional. You've been learning about that and you've been letting go of those things and learn about yourself. But a lot of that is who you are, and because you are love, Aries, and that's okay. And so this month, April, is really about you coming to terms with that. You being okay with who you are. That's this gentle, quieted heart. So your life until now might have been a little bit of a battle with yourself, because you might have felt like you're on the wrong planet, you know, like, well, why was I made like this, being a loving and giving person, if I'm not going to be valued? What am I doing wrong? Like, am I on the wrong planet? You might have felt like that you were put on the wrong planet, Aries. Because if you're being yourself, then you're not valued, and that's causing a fight within yourself. And as I said, you've had to have given up part of yourself to be able to comply, to even get enough money to live. And that's so frustrating. I know, it's been so frustrating. I get you, Aries. For this month, you've really got to come to terms with that, with who you are, because things are changing now. As I said, things are changing. You're going to be valued now. And you've got to get ready for that, to let that in. And that means letting go of past hurts and just coming to terms with it. And coming to terms with it comes from, Aries, you've had to have been in this situation. I mean, living in a time when you haven't been appreciated, just for you to grow as a person. If you think about it, if you'd have been appreciated and valued already, you wouldn't have grown in the way that you have. You need adversity to be able to grow. And so you wouldn't have needed to confront those dysfunctional patterns that you've had in your giving, the ones I mean, Aries, the ones I mean. It's the stuff that's been in my readings for years. If you've been with me for years, if you've only been with me for months, then it's been in your readings for that long. I know, Aries, I remember. You've had dysfunctional giving patterns, especially, and you've had to heal that stuff. And you've done that, and you couldn't have done that without the challenges that you've had. And so you've been in perfect conditions in this world until now to do that growth work, to grow you, to grow who you are, for you to get to really know yourself, for you to release dysfunctional patterns, for you to get ready for this point now. And so this month is all about, you've already done that, right? There might be a little bit still to do, but you've got to this point now where you realize that the world has just been getting ready for you too. We're coming into this new season of the world. It's like, Aries, you've been trying to bloom as a flower, but it's been winter. It's been winter, and you've been trying and trying and trying and trying to bloom. But what you haven't realized is that you're like a plant. You've been getting bigger and bigger. You've been growing more buds, growing more buds. You've been trying to bloom, but those buds can only open and flower once the spring comes around. And the spring is coming around now. And so this is you accepting you're this plant. You've been growing. You've been really growing. You've got really bushy because of this, the winter that you've been going through. And bloom time is coming. Don't worry about it. And so this is about you recognizing who you are. There's no wrongness in you. It's just that the world was getting ready for you. The collective was getting ready for you. It's your time. You're coming into your time now. And so this month is all about you getting settled down in your heart about that and acceptance of yourself. Stopping that fight. I really feel like you've been fighting yourself. You've got a fighting spirit anyway. I'm a lot of Aries. I've got like Aries, Moon, Aries, Venus, I've Aries, all kinds of other things, and I've got a lot of Aries in my chart. I'm Taurus, Sun, Gemini rising, but pretty much everything else is Aries, so I get you. You got a fighting spirit. It's a great thing about you, but sometimes you fight yourself, Aries. Have you noticed? It's time to stop doing that. Stop fighting yourself now. Just have some peace about yourself. Look, April, for you, time alone to refocus yourself. It's just like to stop that fight, stop turning it against yourself, acceptance, self-acceptance, getting to understand who you are. And it's okay who you are. You don't need to battle yourself or your instincts to take care of others and all of that. You don't need to do that. Sure, you've needed to get rid of some of the dysfunctional parts of that, and you've done that. And you'll continue to do that because you'll recognize it. You'll recognize when it starts backfiring, when you get negative energy from it. But you've been getting a lot of negative energy from it, right, Aries? You've not been receiving back what you truly deserve, but you're going to. So this April, it's about you refocusing on yourself, time alone, especially because a lot of what you've been doing is looking after everyone else, Aries. This motherly or fatherly vibe about you. And this reprieve that you've got, time out, we've all been sent to our rooms. Think about what we've been doing. You've been given that time. Maybe those people have been taken away from you so you can't take care of them anymore, which has been confronting itself. It would have been confronting to you, especially if you've been getting your value from that. But in a weird way, that is where your value is. It is where your value is. But you're still enough, even when you're not doing that. Even when you're in lockdown, you're enough. You're loved. So you're getting this lockdown time, this time alone, away from doing things for others, for you to get a real idea that you're enough as you are. You are loved by the universe. There is a place for you. You weren't made wrong. You're not on the wrong planet. And you weren't even in the wrong time, because you've been getting to know yourself and you've been growing as a person. But it's time to definitely focus on yourself at the moment and come to terms with who you are. Get some kind of peace, gentle, quieted heart, some kind of peace with who you are and your past as well. Peace about your past. Because you need to start trusting yourself again, Aries. You need to start trusting yourself again, stopping fighting yourself. You've been beating yourself up. You've been thinking that you're wrong. You've been thinking that you need to change. You've been thinking, like, why did the universe make me like this when it's wrong? It doesn't fit in this world. It's not right for this world. It's just wrong. I shouldn't be like this, but this is what I'm like. So you've been fighting yourself, and it's time for you to trust yourself now. It wasn't wrong. It was just the timing. And there was nothing wrong with the timing either. Because as I said, you couldn't have gotten that growth. You couldn't have got that growth that you've been getting. You've grown into the person that you need to be ready for this next phase. It's just a change in seasons. It's like being a butterfly, Aries. You've had your caterpillar years now. It was a bit of a struggle. You knew you were always meant to fly, but there you were being a caterpillar, crawling around all the time. And like, I'm sure there's more to life than this because I'm meant to be flying. I know I'm meant to be flying, but why is that can't fly? Well, it's because you're still a caterpillar. But right now, you're in a chrysalis. Everybody is Aries, but right now you're in a chrysalis so that you can go within your goop right now. You're being mushed down to nothing. It's like wake up time, look at yourself. Go into the bathroom and look at yourself in a mirror and love what you see there, Aries, because the universe does. It's loved you all along, but it really values you for who you are now, and it wants you to be who you are again, to stop fighting yourself, to start trusting yourself. The ingredients that make up you when you're really being yourself are just perfect. Even the fight, we need warriors. We need warriors out there. Warriors with good hearts, and that's what you are. So you need to start trusting yourself and acknowledging who you are and making it okay to be yourself again. Because conditions are changing and you're going to be appreciated now. You're going to be valued now, Aries. Let's see where this is headed. Healing, a very healing month for you. Healing yourself, frustrations, fighting yourself, stopping fighting yourself, and feeling like, yeah, you've been fighting yourself. I know I got an image of like someone diminishing themselves from inside because of this fight, like thinking that you're wrong when you're not. It's really time to trust yourself and accept yourself and do this healing because you are limitless. You've been holding yourself back. Maybe you've been sabotaging yourself because you've been fighting yourself, Aries, and it's time for you to let go of those sabotages now so that you can get into your limitless nature. It could be that you've been sabotaging yourself, like out of your frustrations. Like my biggest sabotage in my life was drinking. I've given it up now, not completely, but it's not got a hold over me anymore. I hardly ever drink anymore for the last 2 years. But it did have a hold over me, and so it's the sabotage that I can quite easily go to, and I don't anymore. Don't even feel the need to anymore. But what I'm trying to say is, Aries, you might have had a similar sabotage. You might have had something you're turning to because of all these frustrations. With this fighting yourself, it's like you got to numb out to it because if the world isn't ready for you, you've been wanting to numb out in some way. And so, but what I've noticed is when I gave up that sabotage, it changed everything. I hadn't realized how much I was holding myself back before I gave it up. And then suddenly I could show up. I could show up to life properly because something wasn't controlling me anymore. Something didn't have the power over me. And it totally did have the power over me before. Like there's no way I'd be able to run my business as I do. I was running my business for 20 years before that, but I couldn't like say like I'll do a show like this every morning, like my psychic cafe. I mean, every morning on YouTube live. I couldn't show up and say I'll do my readings within 24 hours. I couldn't do that because I never knew whether I was going to show up. I didn't know whether alcohol was going to let me or not, and so many gifts came when I let go of that sabotage. And I don't regret having that sabotage before. I had a lot of healing to do. I had a lot of anxiety. I had like massive abuse stuff to heal. And it really did serve me having a way to switch off, to numb out, because I wouldn't have survived if I'd have been completely sober or without some kind of sabotage to numb out. And I'm feeling like at some level, Aries, you've had sabotages as well that have caused you to do that, but they're to be healed now so that you can open. It's like the doors are opening for you now, Aries, and you've got to heal yourself and be ready for it. And I'm really feeling like it's sabotage. You've got to let go of those sabotages now. You just won't need them. You just won't need them anymore, especially if you've had this fight. You're fighting yourself and of course, a sabotage is going to feel better than that, just numbing out, switching off, whether you've been buying things that aren't needed, whether you've been like sex or TV or, keeping yourself busy or keeping a lot of people around you so you don't have to face yourself, or alcohol or drugs, whatever it is. There's so many different ways we sabotage ourselves. You know which one your favorite is. We all have our favorites, right? And so that needs to be healed now because there's no need for it anymore. You don't have a need for it anymore. Maybe you've been ready to release this, but you just got in a kind of a habit of doing it. And maybe that's what's been taken away from you this April in this lockdown thing, Aries, so that you can actually release it and release the sabotage and realize that there's no need for it anymore. You don't actually need, and you can be free of it. And then you can step into this limitless nature that you truly are, because this giving person that you are, you're needed. You've got a role. This is what 2020 is all about. Remember the 2020 year ahead readings, Aries? This is what this year is all about. Getting you on your soul path, doing what you came here to do. And of course that comes from your authentic self. So you've got to stop this fighting yourself and show up without limitations, because this is when you can soar, you can fly. You always knew you were here to fly, Aries, and be yourself, but the timing is coming now. The seasons are changing in the world. You're about to break out of your chrysalis. Not this month, you're in the chrysalis this month. You're dealing with these things, you're doing this inner work, this healing stuff, but you're going to be limitless, and you need to be ready for that. April's all about us getting ready, each and every one of us getting ready for this point where it's like it's all being in a stadium, like with a running track around the edge, and there's like a start line there, and we're all just like wandering around aimlessly, wondering what the hell we're doing, and then we're waking up and like going, oh, I need to get ready for when this gun goes off to shows it's time to get going again. We need to get ready, and not everyone's going to be ready, but you're going to be ready. You know why? Because you're watching these. You're going to be ready because you've been getting yourself ready, and there's a lot of healing to do. Let's go back through that. There's a lot of healing to do this month so that you can be ready, Aries. You are love, you're very loving, you're very giving. And yes, you've been healing yourself already from the dysfunctions of that, but you've been doing that work. You've been doing great. You need to come to terms with yourself and be okay about yourself and everything that you've been through. You have been on this growth path, significant growth path, and you've needed these challenges of the world not accepting you as you are, of it not really working for you, so that you can get the most growth out of that. We get the most growth out of our adversity and our challenges. We've seen how lazy we get when life is too easy, haven't we? Isn't that what we're being shown now? For those countries where it's been too easy, they're the ones being hit the hardest. Countries like this in Thailand, where it's not that, we're still like, it's still pretty basic way of living, amazing way of living, but yeah, pretty basic way of living. They're not being hit so hard. So we know we get complacent when life is too easy. We get soft. We're not flexible, and we're completely vulnerable. But when life is challenging, that's when we're strong, we're ready, we're flexible, and we have this path of growth. It grows us as a person. That's what you've been going through, Aries. You've been on this path of higher growth, and just be okay about it. This April is about you being okay about yourself and the growth that you've had, and the reception that you've had in the world up to now as well. Especially with your giving nature not being valued. You're going to be valued, so don't worry. You're having this time alone at the moment, isn't everybody? To refocus on yourself, though, to refocus on this, on being okay with yourself, stopping the fight, stopping fighting yourself now, Aries, especially. Refocusing on yourself, you being okay as you are enough as you are. You're not just enough as you are. You're loved, you're appreciated, you are valued. The universe has always appreciated and valued you, but the collective human beings, they're going to start appreciating you now, and so it's time for you to get ready for that. And so especially if you've been looking after everyone else in a dysfunctional way, kind of dysfunctional, some of it is right in you. Those people have been taken out of your lives, friendships. You can't go and see them anymore. You can't go and take care of them anymore. Maybe you're like me, alone, which is amazing for me. But maybe that's really confronting to you, because you've been getting value out of all the things that you've been doing for other people, Aries. You know all of this stuff. It's stuff that you've been doing. You've been healing yourself with that stuff anyway. But you're really coming into your own. You're about to come into your own. You're about to be valued for all of that. So the functional part of it is going to be brought forward in this. But the time alone is to refocus on yourself and you being okay with yourself. Going within, trusting yourself again, not fighting yourself anymore. You haven't been made wrong. The universe didn't go wrong with you, Aries. It gave you the right combination. Your true authentic self, that nature that you've got is right. It is right. And you're going to see it's going to be valued now. Well, maybe not now. It's going to be valued very shortly, if not now. And so it's up to you to go within and just get ready for that and start trusting yourself and trusting your true nature, trusting your authentic self, allowing yourself to be yourself, allowing that to be okay with you, you being you. Very, very healing month for you. Just being okay with who you are. That's what the healing is about. Because then, and especially healing sabotages as well, if you've got any of those sabotage patterns still going on, you haven't healed yet, get on with that. Get help in doing it. Like, get rid of that stuff because you're about to fly. You don't want to like break out of the cocoon and your wings aren't fully formed yet or anything like that. You want to, or like with a lead weight on your feet so that you can't fly off. You want to be completely free and ready for when you're set free again, so that you can be limitless, so that you can fly. So this is the month to get healing those things that are still left over in your life, Aries, that are left for healing, especially because of what you've been through in the past. Wow, Aries, a big month for you too. It is for every sign. Don't worry, it's not just you. If you like this reading, please click a like and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment. What did you get out of that? How does it resonate with you, Aries? Also, let me know, what would you like the half price reading sales to be about? And don't forget, check out my website, behealing.com, on the weekends especially, to find out what those half price readings are. If you're getting value and help from my readings, please share my channel with your friends. They could be getting value from it too, moving forward in their lives with the help of their higher selves too. I hope you have an amazing month, Aries, and I'll see you next time. Bye.